Hello teachers! Last time we talked about Bloom's taxonomy and we related to Bloom's taxonomy to the sequence of steps that we follow in order to teach any objective or in order to plan for our sessions. Well, we talked about that Bloom divided thinking to three levels, low, middle and high. We talked about the details of each level. Today I want to talk about something else, more about the discovery phase in the sequence, which is the types of intelligence. But in order to understand that, I want to discuss a story. I want to tell you the story that happened with me in my first year teaching, which was the most exciting year I have ever had because I was learning a lot at the same time of applying teaching. A fellow teacher, also a teacher like me, she was an English teacher, asked me a question. She asked me, why do you think some of your students are not able to acquire language or to speak the language in the session? At the same time, whenever they go in the field of working, they will be able to apply and acquire or speak the language much better. Whenever they, for example, have to deal with or to work outboard or to deal with foreign customers, they will be forced to use the language and they will be able to understand whatever the customer telling them. Actually, I gave a rush answer, which is obviously because the students now are students. They don't know how essential language is in their lives. And then whenever they go through the field of working or the practical field, they will find how difficult, how important it is and how essential it is to be used. They will force themselves to the situation of learning and using this, and that's why they will be able. So they have the ability, but they don't know that they can do it yet. Well, actually, my answer was not mistaken, but it was not that correct. She answered a much shorter answer. She gave me one word that actually kept me thinking for a long time. She said the reason is the attitude. And you must ask yourself, what is the atmosphere that I must build in my session that will lead my students to acquire knowledge in language? And why do students have the attitude, or actually students have the attitude, any person has the attitude to acquire the language or speak the language whenever they have to. So whatever you have to do is to create the atmosphere that will prepare your students to have the attitude of learning or speaking the language in your session. That was actually very brief, but I want to ask how. And the answer came with the strategies that you use. So you must pick the strategy that you want to use, and you must ask yourself, why do I use this strategy, not that strategy? What is the difference between those strategies, etc. That's why. That's when I was taught about the different type of intelligence. Well, it is common. It is known. It is. We can all agree that each student is unique and each student is different. We can say that we cannot find two people who acquire the same information in the same way or who can understand the same information in the same way. We know that each person absorb the language or absorb the information, not just the language, any other subject, in his own way and understand it in his own way. Well, the reason is the types of intelligence. Some studies say that there are 9 types of intelligence, that each person might differ in the levels of those intelligence than other. For example, I will explain each level, each type of intelligence, and I want you to think about that yourself. The first type of intelligence, or the most common type of intelligence, is bodily kinesthetic intelligence. We can find the bodily kinesthetic intelligence with the sportsmen, the famous football players, the artists. Those people have a high level of bodily kinesthetic intelligence because they know how to use their body much better than other people. The second type of intelligence is linguistic intelligence, in which or through which the person will be able to acquire languages much faster than others, will be able to use language as better than others, will know the words or what to say, when to say it. Those people are much better in that. The third type of intelligence is the musical intelligence. We know musicians, we know people who can write symphonies, and we have heard rumors about those people who can see the keynotes of the musical keynotes floating on air and something like that. Those people have a high level of musical intelligence. The fourth type of intelligence is mathematical logical intelligence. Mathematical logical intelligence is the one that we find with those people who are better in math, who can see the equations in a different way. They know how to solve them much faster and much better, and they are logical with going from one step to another. Those people have a high level of mathematical logical intelligence. The next type of intelligence is the spatial intelligence. The spatial intelligence can be found in its high levels with those people who can use the space much better than others. We see videos on YouTube about people who can use the teeniest space in their rooms in something creative, or we can see it with the people who can see the world as a three-dimensional world. Those people are better in spatial intelligence. The sixth type of intelligence is the natural intelligence. We can see this kind of intelligence in its high levels with those people who can deal with nature much better. They know what to plant, how to plant, and how to deal with the plants. In some case, you see them can feel the plants, and I don't know how they do that. Those people have a high level of natural intelligence. The next level or the next type of intelligence is interpersonal intelligence, and there is a difference between interpersonal intelligence and intrapersonal intelligence. Interpersonal intelligence is the intelligence of the group. Whenever a person is able to have a good social life, he knows how to make friends, he knows how the people feel, he can directly look at you and I understand your situation. Those people have a high level of interpersonal intelligence. Intrapersonal intelligence is the intelligence that prepare you to understand yourself, to know whatever you are going through, the way you think, the way you must feel, blah blah blah, etc. Those people have a high level of intrapersonal intelligence, which is the intelligence of the self. The newest type of intelligence, or the newest discovered type of intelligence, the one that was added to the list latest, is the existential intelligence, and they added the moral intelligence. The existential intelligence is the intelligence that prepares you to understand the existence of the universe, the existence of the world, the existence of you, the purpose of your existence itself. And they have lots of answers to that. What I want to say that even though we talk about 9 types of intelligence, it doesn't mean that each person has only one. You might have more than one type of intelligence. So what you have to do as a teacher, as for you believe, you don't just know that, you believe that. It is the rule that the whole structure of your planning for the session built on, that each student is unique and all students are intelligent one way or another. You must prepare a strategy that tackles at least 3, 4, 5 types of intelligence, so you can make sure that all your students are able to have the attitude toward learning from you. For example, if you are teaching history and you started with a role play, you picked students who has, for example, Bodily Kinesthetic intelligence to act, and students who are have interpersonal intelligence to communicate together in order in some kind of group talking, to list the rules, the reasons, etc. So you will be able to tackle the minds of your students with more than one level, with more than one type of intelligence. So what I want to say that those types of intelligence make us unique, and each one of us is unique and special. Your students are unique and special. Whenever you want to teach, keep that in mind and pick a strategy that would tackle the mind of more than one type of intelligent people. And hope you enjoyed it, and share your own experience about the types of intelligence, your own strategies. Thank you.